Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in on my channel. So in this video, we're gonna talk about flying with a baby. And I think that with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are gonna be traveling, and that usually involves flying, and a lot of people are flying with babies, toddlers, kids, and I want to share my experience flying with my then 10-month-old baby. So if you want to know more, then keep on watching. But before we get to the video, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amadea, and I hope that you find my video helpful and useful, as I always intend them to. And please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos, and follow me on Instagram at HeyAmadea and ByAmadea. And now let's get on to the video. So we live in Bay Area, California, and we were flying to Seattle. It's still in the same coast, West Coast, so the flight wasn't terribly long. It was only 2 hours or so, but it was my first time flying with a baby, so it was really daunting, let alone it was COVID time. But we were traveling, and luckily we had our parents with us, so that's a huge extra help. But what I want to share with you is things that we have to prepare to fly with a baby, because all of this time we've been traveling, just me and my husband, just the two of us. Now we have a baby into the mix, so it's a completely different ball game. Pleasant surprise that I didn't know that checking in your car seat is free. So it was a huge relief for us, because outside of your luggage fee, you can check in your car seat for free. So what we did, we bring our car seat, and we also brought our strollers. So we had an Nuna thrift stroller, and we had also a Nuna infant car seat. What we did was we checked in the Nuna car seat right at the check-in station. So when you get to the airport, where you check in all your luggage, we check in the car seat with us. So my baby was still 10 months old at the time, so I carried her with a baby carrier with me all throughout the airport. So we check in the car seat for free, and we had this stroller with us. So we decided not to check in the stroller, because we needed the stroller just to get by, basically to bring our stuff with us all around the airport, which is a very convenient, and it works out for us. And because she was still small, I can just carry her in my baby carrier, no problem. And it was still early in the morning, so she was pretty much sleeping the whole time. At the airport, she wasn't really fussy or whatever. Okay, Murphy decided to join us. So anyway, so yeah, she was basically sleeping the whole time we were at the airport, so it was a huge win. She was sleeping, and we had our car seat check-in. And because it was free, I've seen a lot of people said that you can just put in a little extra stuff with the car seat when you check it in. For us, I don't know how the airline, if the airline will check or not, I'm not quite sure. But for us, we packaged the car seat just to protect, so it's really protective. So we bought this giant cover from Amazon. So we just put it there, and then we wrap it with a blanket, and then we added diapers for extra cushion. So it's just to make sure that the car seat itself is safe and sound when it gets to the destination, right? So we put in our diapers. We were gone for about 10 days, so it was a lot of diapers. For baby under 2 years old, you can travel for free. You have the option, of course, to buy a separate ticket for them, but some people argue it's safer that way, to have them assign their own seat. But I know for sure that my baby would not sit on her own. She would sit on my lap. So I didn't purchase a separate ticket for her, but we had to register her in advance. Even though she flew for free, at first I didn't know that we should have registered her name first. But when you bought your ticket, they will ask you if you're traveling with an infant, and then they will ask for the name and blah blah blah. So you still need to register her name before the flight itself, so they know that they are expecting an infant or a little kid, right? And then once we get to the boarding, and they offered like early boarding with family with kids. So this is the first time that we boarded early, and I felt like so special that we got to board early, because at that time there was not a lot of family traveling with little kids, and I feel like we were the only family, if not like maybe one of the two families that have little kids. So we boarded early, so it was really nice because we get to settle in, and we were guaranteed space in the overhead cabin for our stuff. So it was really, really convenient, because you know how flights gets full when you have to board last. So it was really convenient to board early. We got to settle in, and we put our stuff in a luggage in the overhead cabin above us, and I put my diaper bag right underneath. I packed basically all of the stuff that I know that I need for her. It's basically just her basic needs, right? A change of clothes, diapers, wipes, teethers, like some kind of toys that your baby would like, and then snacks if your baby eats solids already. And yeah, basically some things to keep her busy. Because it was still early in the morning, she wasn't as active yet, which is very, very good for us. She still looks very drowsy, because we did wake her up at 5 in the morning to go to the airport. So she was still really sleepy. She wasn't as active as she usually is. So it's a win for us. So she was just, everything was new, so she was like confused where she is. She was just looking around, and then we entertained her for about half an hour, just in the airplane while we were waiting for the plane to take off. And what we did is, when the plane is about to take off, you know how the pressure change, and then your ear sometimes feels weird. I never really feel pain when the pressure drops, when the plane takes off, but you never know with a baby. So people say to make sure that your baby is swallowing, or you can give them a bottle, or give them like water, or just make her eat something, so to make sure that she's swallowing something, to make sure that their ears doesn't hurt or something like that. So when the plane was about to take off, or in the mid takeoff, I gave her a bottle, and she took that, which is a win, because sometimes she would refuse to take the bottle when she's in a new environment. So but she took the bottle. I think she was still sleepy at the time. And then after the bottle, she just looked around, and then she's sleeping for an hour or so. So the flight itself was about 2 hours, and she slept about an hour and a half. So it was a win for us. And yeah, it went great. And then when the plane about to land, we tried to give her another bottle, but she refused it. So what we did, we gave her some water, and luckily she took it. And yeah, it went great, right? It went great for the first flight, the very first flight ever. And for the flight back, I couldn't really say the same way, because the flight back, which I totally forgot to record any footage because we were just so tired. It was an afternoon flight, about 5 or 6 p.m. So we were already tired. It was basically almost her bedtime, but she wasn't tired. And so for the whole 2 hours, we basically did the same thing. We gave her a bottle when we were about to take off. We gave her a bottle when we were about to land. But during that 2 hour flight, she refused to sleep. So she didn't want to sleep, so she was very mobile. So you have to imagine that after driving for hours, and then at 6 p.m. we're flying with her, she refused to sleep. And for that whole 2 hours, you basically have to be on you have to be on all of the time. And I have to say, it's really tiring, and it's exhausting. And yeah, but we survive. Like, we survive. And it was just a 2-hour flight. I know a lot of people have flown longer than that with a baby, but it really wore me off. But we survive. And I think I think one word of encouragement here is, like, flying with a smaller kid can be exhausting, can be scary, but remember that the plane will eventually land, right? It's not forever, so you know, like, exactly how much time you have to sit there with a baby. So just hang in there. And I think traveling, even though it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming, but I think it'll be worth it, right? The memory you create, the fun you will have while you're traveling, the new places that you get to explore and visit. You take your baby to the, I don't know, the moments that you create together, the new experiences, it'll be worth it. Because even though that flight was exhausting, and I'm just talking about that 2-hour flight, but the trip itself was a blast. We have a lot of pictures, we have a lot of moments to remember, videos to remember. She's not gonna remember any of it for sure, but we'll remember it, right? We have a lot of moments that we capture from that trip. So we're really happy we're doing it. And we're, for the holidays, we're planning to go back home, which is in Jakarta, Indonesia. It's a over 20-hour flight. And she hasn't met our extended family yet because of obvious reasons. She's only met my parents, and I really want to take her to meet our extended family. So that's why we're planning to go home for the holidays. But I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, so we have just to see how the situation is, and I'm gonna update you on that. But I guess that's all my experience flying with a 10-month-old baby. I hope that this is helpful and useful for you one way or another. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment down below, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.